Hey, and welcome to Tiny Revolution. I am sitting on, rather reclining on top of our materials, our exterior materials, and our subfloor material that was sponsored to us by our good friends at LP Building Materials. As we started to take apart the pile, which is composed of about 4 different materials, we started to notice a difference in some of the materials, and I'm anxious to talk about those, but I just want to show kind of an immediate glimpse of the different materials. Now, right behind me that I've got my elbow on, this is our SilverTech finish, which is what we're going to be using on our tiny house for the exterior. The silver, of course, will be on the inside, and the actual paneling will be on the outside. It's a pre-primed finish, so we're really excited about that. Then a secondary material is this smart finish, which doesn't have the silver, but it's not quite a paper material. You can faintly see the compressed wood underneath of it. And then it's got the layer on top, which I'm going to talk about more later. I'm really going to go into some detail about the different LP products that you can buy for non-traditional structures and even for traditional structures. And then the last piece is a piece that we had. It's a SmartSide that we purchased before and used on a barn around here. You can see the texture, the exterior texture is the exact same as what we're using, but on the back side there's not a finish. So it's also a good material for certain applications, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later too. But I just wanted to show you the immediate difference between the 3 materials. So we have the SilverTech, the Smart Finish, and then the SmartSide. Right now I want to talk a little bit about, well, the tiny house. You can see behind me that everything is ready for our siding product. We've got the house wrapped, we've got the windows in. So now we're going to turn our attention to the LP SmartSide with SilverTech. Now, this paneling is a very unique product. It was sponsored by LP Building Materials. Came to us, it was something we had already decided we were going to use. Now, this is an oriented strand boarding product, as you can see right here. You can see the strands right there. And it's a very unique product because of the way it's created. Now, it didn't come yellow, mind you. The yellow is actually the paint color that we're going with, which we've already painted it. So we added, and you can see in a previous video how we put the primer on and then we put the paint color on. But what I want to talk about is actually how you install this and what the qualities of this SmartSide truly are. To start this install, we're going to talk about how you actually use this type of product. Now, this is a lap siding. It comes in 4x8 sheets. And the very unique thing about this is even though it's a strand board product, it actually has some pretty cool qualities. For instance, when they're making this product, there's a zinc borate that's added to the compound, which really strengthens up your strands, really brings the bonds closer together. It also works against fungal decay or any sort of termite damage. Then the other thing that they do is they put a really high quality, high density resin inside the particles as they're creating the wood and pressing the wood. That way it gives it a superior strength. Now, one of the things you might notice is that we've got the house wrap and no sheathing. And that's because this product is made so that architecturally you don't need sheathing. You can apply this directly to your studs. Alright, so what we've got here is actually 2 pieces of the SmartSide siding. And what's interesting about it is that when you're putting it up, because it's a lap siding, you're going to install 1 sheet first, and then your second sheet is simply going to overlap. So you don't really have a gap. You don't have, a joint where you're going to have to do a lot of filling in or putting in some sort of caulking or something like that. You simply put up your first piece just like this. Take your second piece where you can see the lap right there, combine the 2 like that, and then go ahead and nail it up, and you've got 1 solid sheet. Now, before I go, I want to point out one other really cool quality about this product. You'll notice that the interior side, the side that's going to face the interior of your tiny house, is a silver color. That's because this silver is the SilverTech product added to the SmartSide, and it's actually a radiant barrier. So it serves for insulation purposes as well as heating and cooling purposes. So again, this is a really great product that serves a number of functions. Alright, so what I'm doing right now is we're putting up our LP SmartSide. Now, we've got our pneumatic nail gun set so that the nail just barely goes beneath the surface. We're not really countersinking it because we don't want it to pull through. We don't want the wood to pull off and the nail be left there. So, we're just tacking it up piece by piece. We're going to continue the run of the trailer just like we are. on the studs, and then we'll be done. What we're looking at right here is probably one of the secrets about tiny houses. Now, if you're going to be using any sort of T111 or Masonite or SmartSide or New Wood or any of those panel siding products for your tiny house, then you're going to want to make sure to install one thing. That's the drip cap. Now, this is a product made out of PVC, and what you'll see is that your siding actually goes over this embankment right here, so that when your water comes down your siding, it very easily rolls off. There's a bit of an angle here. It's going to roll off and then drip down to the ground. This way you don't get any water buildup, you don't get any condensation that might get up in the wood, might expand the wood, might oversaturate the wood, or cause any sort of mold or mildew. Alright, so when everything's said and done, when you've got your smart siding applied, you've got your windows in, and your trim work up, you get a finished product just like this.